To clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Well, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
you see how they try to fact check my boy JD Vance, and then they wanted to swiftly move on. No, not with JD Vance. JD Vance said, "Stop what you're doing. No, you guys are women. I'm red pilled. Shut up. Be quiet. Let me talk. You want to fact check me? I'm gonna fact check you." British guy reacts to the VP debate, guys. As you guys know, the VP debate just happened yesterday for me. I want to give my opinion on it before we get into it, guys. So, first thing I want to say is Tampon WALZ absolutely did way better than I expected him to do. He did amazing. He actually did really good. I'm not going to lie. I thought he was an idiot. As so did you guys. A lot of you guys thought he was an idiot too. Vance, as usual, composed, calm and collected. WALZ, he was a bit more shaky. He was a bit more nervous. He looked a bit paranoid, so to say. He didn't look 100%, but he did really well. I'm not going to lie to you guys, bro. This was much better than the presidential debate. Way better, bro. Some people say, why are these guys not running for the president? I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, this was a great debate. It was amazing to see. They was very cool, calm and collected. Very non-biased. I would give it to the moderators too. They wasn't very biased. They wasn't, I'd say a little bit leaning towards the left. A little bit, the moderators was a little tiny bit biased towards the left side. But all in all, guys, it was pretty good, man. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel about it, bro. I'm not going to lie. It was decent. It was decent. So I'm going to react to the highlights of it. British guy reacted to the highlights of the VP debate. Let's get it. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment down below, and let's go.
Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future.
I'm assuming it's talking about Donald Trump.
Censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake.
By the way, guys, I did watch the whole debate from start to finish. So I don't know if you guys have. So I'm gonna react to the highlights, but I am more in tuned into the whole thing than it seems. But I'm gonna act like I haven't watched it because just for the content value.
The 2020 COVID situation.
That is a damning non-answer.
It's a damning non-answer for you to not talk about censorship. Obviously, Donald Trump and I think that there were problems in 2020. We've talked about it. I'm happy to talk about it further. But you guys attack us for not believing in democracy. The most sacred right under the United States democracy is the First Amendment. You yourself have said there's no First Amendment right to misinformation. Kamala Harris wants to...
You can't tell me this guy's not a funny-looking guy, though. Tampon WALZ is definitely a funny-looking guy, guys. And yeah, by the way, I'm Trump 2024 all the way. Vance did amazing. He did very well. Like, the votes are saying... I was seeing, what, 90%? But then again, in some other votes... It was very close, bro. It was damn near 50-50. Like, Vance just took the lead a tiny bit. Which, in my opinion, Vance did blow him out of the water. However, WALZ did very well. He did amazing.
Misinformation. Kamala Harris wants to use the power of government and big tech to silence people from speaking their minds. That is a threat to democracy that will long outlive this present political moment. I would like Democrats and Republicans to both reject censorship. Let's persuade one another. Let's argue about ideas, and then let's come together afterwards.
You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. That's the test. That's the Supreme Court test.
Tim, fire in a crowded theater. You guys wanted to kick people off of Facebook for saying that toddlers shouldn't wear masks.
Senator, the governor does have the floor.
Fire in a crowded theater. That is criticizing the policies of the government, which is the right of every American.
Senator, the governor does have the floor for 1 minute to respond to you.
Yeah. Well, I don't run Facebook. What I do know is I see a candidate out there who refused, and now again, and this, I'm pretty shocked by this. He lost the election. This is not a debate.
If you become vice president...
Guys, is it a debate for Donald Trump to get kicked out of office? Did Donald Trump really win? Some people say it was a rigged election. I'm not. It's just he say, she say. I'm just saying what everyone knows, bro. What do you guys think? Was it a rigged election? Let me know in the comment section down below, bro.
Why should Americans trust that you will give Donald Trump the advice he needs to hear and not just the
Because
advice
it's VANCE,
he
bro.
wants to hear.
Well, first of all, Margaret, because I've always been open. And sometimes, of course, I've disagreed with the president, but I've also been extremely open about the fact that I was wrong about Donald Trump. I was wrong, first of all, because I believed some of the media stories that turned out to be dishonest fabrications of his record. But most importantly, Donald Trump delivered for the American people. Rising wages, rising take-home pay, an economy that worked for normal Americans, a secure southern border, a lot of things, frankly, that I didn't think he'd be able to deliver on.
Absolutely.
And yeah, when you screw up, when you misspeak, when you get something wrong and you change your mind, you ought to be honest with the American people about it.
You said you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring.
Yeah, pay attention to this part right here. This part was definitely one of them finicky, funny ones for me when I was watching the debate. I didn't... Just pay attention, bro. I'll speak on it at the end of it as long as it plays the full clip. It's definitely a bit shiesty, this part here, bro.
1989. But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year.
Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times, but it's always been about that. Many times I will talk a lot. I will get caught up in the rhetoric. But being there, the impact it made, the difference it made in my life, I learned a lot about China. I hear the critiques of this. I would make the case that Donald Trump should have come on one of those trips with us. I guarantee you he wouldn't be praising Xi Jinping about COVID. And I guarantee you he wouldn't start a trade war that he ends up losing.
So first of all, Margaret, before we talk about...
I will give that part to WALZ with that. For sure, he took responsibility saying that, yeah, he's a knucklehead and he probably lied. But it's the fact of he shouldn't have did it in the first place. Basically, guys, to give you guys the outside run of things, basically, he got fact-checked for saying that he was somewhere when he wasn't. He said he was in China when at a certain time and he wasn't. And it's been fact-checked and they just fact-checked him on that. And he basically... It wasn't in his clip, but he basically admitted to lying, pretty much lying, which obviously is not a good look for the VP. It's not a good look for America in general. But he admitted it. He didn't, but he did. So fair play to him for doing that because he could have walked around the park with that part. So I will give it to him.
About deportations, we have to stop the bleeding. We have a historic immigration crisis because Kamala Harris started and said that she wanted to undo all of Donald Trump's border policies.
And she did
Kamala
that.
Harris was the Attorney General of the largest state and a border state in California. She's the only person in this race who prosecuted transnational gangs for human trafficking and drug interventions. But look, we all want to solve this. Most of us want to solve this. That's why we had the fairest and the toughest bill on immigration that this nation's seen. But as soon as I was getting ready to pass and actually tackle this, Donald Trump said no, told them to vote against it because it gives him a campaign issue.
That's not true.
It gives him what would Donald Trump talk about if we actually did some of these things?
The only thing that she did when she became the vice president, when she became the appointed border czar, was to undo 94 Donald Trump executive actions that opened the border. This problem is leading to massive problems in the United States of America.
We could come together and solve this if we didn't let Donald Trump continue to make it an issue. And the consequences in Springfield were the governor had to send state law enforcement to escort kindergartners to school. I believe Senator Vance wants to solve this, but by standing with Donald Trump and not working together to find a solution, it becomes a talking point. And when it becomes a talking point like this, we dehumanize and villainize other human beings.
Now, Governor Walz brought up the community of Springfield, and he's very worried about the things that I've said in Springfield. Look, in Springfield, Ohio, and in communities all across this country, you've got schools that are overwhelmed. You've got hospitals that are overwhelmed. You have got housing that is totally unaffordable because we brought in millions of illegal immigrants to compete with Americans for scarce homes. The people that I'm most worried about in Springfield, Ohio, are the American citizens who have had their lives destroyed by Kamala Harris's open border.
Facts.
It is a disgrace, Tim. And I actually think, I agree with you. I think you want to solve this.
Guys, we saw that a lot in this debate. We saw them agreeing a lot, which shows you guys that the Democrats are they're turning more central now. They're much more central now. Like, they would never do this before. They would never agree before. Everything would clash. It would just all clash. Now, it's much more in the middle ground. It's much more middle grounded, bro. It's much more... It's good to see for American people. And this debate was much more professional than Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. It was much more actual political debate. It wasn't a row. You feel what I'm saying? It was good to see. It was amazing. But you do see that a lot of them agreeing a lot. So I believe, guys, if they had 30 more minutes in this debate, I believe Vance would have made WALZ support Donald Trump. I said it. I believe that for sure, 100%. I believe if he had a little bit more time, WALZ would be on Donald Trump's team, bro. Because I can just see it. You could see it in the debate. Like, they agreed a lot. He agreed with him a lot. Yeah, you can see it, bro.
Problem, but I don't think that Kamala Harris does.
I don't talk about my faith a lot, but Matthew 25:40 talks about,
Good man.
to the least
Good
amongst
man.
us, you do unto me. I think that's true of most Americans. They simply want order to it. This bill does it. It's funded. It's supported by the people who do it, and it lets us keep our dignity about how we treat other people.
Just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status.
There's apparently eating. What were the Haitians eating again? Ducks, dogs, cats.
Protected status.
Well,
Nora?
Margaret, but
Thank you.
Senator, we have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important
We're
because
going to turn out of the
debate-
economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that
The
you guys
economy,
weren't going to
we're-
fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important
Yes.
to say what's actually
Yes,
going
this
on.
part was amazing. Yes, nigga. Wait, what fault? Bro, hey, I'm not gonna lie, bro. JD Vance, bro. He impressed me with this one. They try to fact check him and then swiftly move on. He said, whoa. Stop what you're doing. He wasn't having it. He red-pilled for a minute. JD Vance red-pilled for a minute. Watch.
Get to.
Margaret,
Viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a
Order to it. This bill does it. It's funded. It's supported by the people who do it, and it lets us keep our dignity about how we treat other people.
Just to clarify for our
Look.
viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Margaret,
Nora?
but
Thank you.
Senator, we have so much to get to.
Margaret,
Thank you,
I think it's
Nora.
important
We're
because
going to turn out of
You see how they try to fact check my boy JD Vance and then they wanted to swiftly move on? No. Not with JD Vance. JD Vance said, stop what you're doing. No, you guys are women. I'm red-pilled. Shut up. Be quiet. Let me talk. You want to fact check me? I'm going to fact check you. Now, who are you talking to? That boy JD Vance is the GOAT, bro. That's why he is VP. That's why he needs to be Vice President of the United States of America, bro. That boy JD Vance is the GOAT. You ain't seeing that from WALZ. You ain't seeing that from Kamala. You're going to see that from Donald Trump, though. I'm telling you, bro. Vote Donald Trump. America's going to be a good place again, bro.
the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that
The
you guys
economy,
weren't going to
we're-
fact check. And
Look,
since
look.
you're fact checking me,
Yep.
I think it's important to say what's
Facts.
actually going on.
Yep.
So there's an application called the CBP One app where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand.
Yes.
That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That
Thank
is
you,
the
Senator.
facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by
Thank
our
you,
own
Senator, for
leadership.
describing the legal
And
process.
Kamala-
We
and
have
Kamala
so much
Harris
to get
opened up
to,
that
Senator.
pathway.
Those
We have
laws
so
have been on
much.
the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The
we
CBP
want to have.
One app has not been on the books since 1990.
They had to mute his mic because he was spitting facts. They tried to fact check him and he said, I'm not having it. You want to fact check me? No. I will fact check you. They had to mute his mic, bro. Look at this one smiling and this other one's a bit mad now. She's like, hold on, wait. I'm the authority maker here. No. Not with JD Vance and this bitch.
Gentlemen, the audience can't hear you because your mics are cut.
You know, I grew up in a working class family in a neighborhood where I knew a
Stupid
lot of
bitch,
young
bro.
women who had unplanned pregnancies and decided to terminate those pregnancies because they feel like they didn't have any other options. One of them is actually very dear to me. She felt like if she hadn't had that abortion, that it would have destroyed her life because she was in an abusive relationship. And I think that what I take from that as a Republican who proudly wants to protect innocent life in this country, who proudly wants to protect the vulnerable, is that my party, we've got to do so much better of a job at earning the American people's trust back on this issue where they frankly just don't trust us. And I think that's one of the things that Donald Trump and I are endeavoring to do. I want us as a Republican Party to be pro-family in the fullest sense of the word. I want us to support fertility treatments. I want us to make it easier for moms to afford to have babies. I want it to make it easier for young families to afford a home so they can afford a place to raise that family. And I think there's so much that we can do on the public policy front just to give women more options.
When you listen to Vice President Harris talk about this subject and you hear me talk about it, you hear us talking exactly the same. Donald Trump is trying to figure out how to get the political right of this. I agree with a lot of what Senator Vance said about what's happening. His running mate, though...
You agreed with him about a lot, WALZ. You agreed with him about a lot, sir. Like I said, 30 more minutes to an hour more of this debate, I believe Vance would have made WALZ join the political side, bro. It's just a fact, bro.
It's not, and that's the problem. I got a 17-year-old, and he witnessed a shooting at a community center playing volleyball. Those things don't leave you. No one's trying to scaremonger and say we're taking your guns, but I ask all of you out there, do you want your schools hardened to look like a fort? Is that what we have to go when we know there's countries around the world that their children aren't practicing these types of drills? They're being kids. We owe it to them to get a fix.
Tim, first of all, I didn't know that your 17-year-old witnessed a shooting. Unacceptable. I'm sorry about that, and I hope that he's doing okay. Christ have mercy. It is awful. We unfortunately have a mental health crisis in this country that I really do think that we need to get to the root causes of, because I don't think it's the whole reason why we have such a bad gun violence problem, but I do think it's a big piece of it.
Just because you have a mental health issue doesn't mean you're violent. And I think what we end up doing is we start looking for a scapegoat. Sometimes it just is the guns.
Governor, you say trust the experts, but those same experts for 40 years said that if we shipped our manufacturing base off to China, we'd get cheaper goods. They lied about that. They said if we shipped our industrial base off to other countries, to Mexico and elsewhere, it would make the middle class stronger. They were wrong about that. They were wrong about the idea that if we made America less self-reliant, less productive in our own nation, that it would somehow make us better off, and they were wrong about it. And for the first time in a generation, Donald Trump had the wisdom and the courage to say to that bipartisan consensus, we're not doing it anymore.
Much of what the senator said right there, I'm in agreement with him on this. I watched it happen too. I watched it to my communities,
guys,
and we talked about it.
They agreed on a lot, and it's not common to see a lot of agreements between the different sides, so... Yeah.
We're in agreement that we bring those home. The issue is Donald Trump is talking about it. Kamala Harris has a record 250,000 more manufacturing jobs just out of the IRA.
May I respond to that?
Yes.
So appreciate that. So if you notice, what Governor WALZ just did is he said, first of all, Donald Trump has to listen to the experts. And then when he acknowledged that the experts screwed up, he said, well, Donald Trump didn't do nearly as good of a job as the statistics show that he did. So what Tim Walz is doing, and I honestly, Tim, I think you got a tough job here, because you've got to play whack-a-mole. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't deliver rising take-home pay, which of course he did. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't deliver lower inflation, which of course he did. And then you've simultaneously got to defend Kamala Harris's atrocious economic record, which has made gas, groceries, and housing unaffordable for American citizens.
Yes, 100%. He does have a very difficult job. He has a very difficult job because he really does have to play makeup. He really does. Because a lot of these things is proven fact, and he knows it. WALZ knows it. So, to conclude here, I say JD Vance took it home. I say it was a great debate, much more professional than the actual presidential debate. Great. It was an amazing back and forth. They agreed on a lot, which was good to see because it's not common. Like I said, JD Vance would have made him. He would have made WALZ become a Trump supporter, bro, if he had a little bit more time, because they agreed on way too much. And he, like you heard in the end, he was saying how basically you gotta play makeup. You're basically playing makeup right now, trying to act like Donald Trump didn't do these things. He didn't raise rent. He didn't raise the pay rise. He didn't raise, etc., 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 as he said. So yeah, I would say Donald Trump, JD Vance. Please vote for them. America will be a good place again. That's my reaction on it. That's a British guy reaction to the vice presidential debate. If you liked it, like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what else you want to see me react to, and I will react to it, guys. Whether it's UK-based, America, around the world, I like this type of stuff, so that's why I'm getting into it, guys. This is not something that I'm familiar with, but I'm getting familiar with it between the weeks and the months of me learning about this stuff. It's amazing, man. I really do like politics, bro. It's where the money's made. It's where the money's created. It's where the money flows. It's where power's exchanged. It's exactly where we need to be. So it's important to learn these things about our countries and about our future, bro. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. Like, subscribe. Please do comment down below. Please post notifications. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. We're out. Peace.
Bye. Have a great time.